So speaking of, I mean, being part of a team. I mean, as a writer for a game, I mean, what do you do? What is the process like for writing for a game?
So I'm weird. I don't tend to work on those games where I can't have an input quite early on. I know a lot of writers, a lot of games writers work on games where they're brought in quite late in the process and the game already exists and they have to come in and somehow wrap a story around it. But I don't think that's the way to make a good story or a good story with a game. So what tends to happen with me, and this is what happened with Perplexity and with Zombies Run and with the BBC game, is that um, I will meet very early on with the people who are designing the game, or we'll come up with the idea together of how the story and the game are going to fit together. So with Zombies Run, it was a conversation between me and Adrian. Adrian and I had been talking about how to make a running game that you could just you could play without having to look at your screen whilst you're running because that's dangerous and you'll end up going into a tree. and uh, uh, we came up with the idea together, and then we worked on what the story would be together. And if I come up with the idea, then I know that there's a good place for story in it, and the story isn't going to feel tacked on or redundant in some way, or the kind of thing that you just want to skip through to get to the good part. Uh, so what I do is first of all we come up with the idea of how it's going to work, and then I sit down and I write something, and you come up with characters and you come up with a plot, and you come up with like cool things. This is a key point where you go, oh my god, wouldn't it be so cool if blah? Oh my god, wouldn't it be so cool if this? And then you work out how to make that happen. You kind of create something that winds in between all those different things that you thought were very, very cool. Actually, that has a lot in common with how I write novels, which is to say I start with great scenes and I write scenes that I want to be in the book, and eventually I put those together into a book that sort of contains them all. And I think it's a good way to ensure that whatever you make has a lot of cool stuff in it.